It was a typical Monday morning when Sarah walked into the office, her heart sinking as she realized she was late again. As a project manager, she had always prided herself on punctuality, but the last few months had been tough. Personal struggles had taken a toll on her, and despite her best efforts, she couldn't seem to be on time anymore. She had hoped today would be different, but as soon as she entered the office, she knew it wasn't. Her boss, Mr. Harrison, was already waiting for her. His stern face told her everything she needed to know today. Her tardiness was going to be addressed. As they walked to her cubicle, she braced herself for the worst. She'd been warned before about her lateness, but she never expected this. "Sarah," Mr. Harrison said, his voice clipped. "We need to talk about your punctuality." "I know, Mr. Harrison," she replied, trying to steady her nerves. "I've been trying, but—" He interrupted, "This has become a problem. Your tardiness is affecting the team, and we can't keep overlooking it. We're going to have to let you go." The words hit Sarah like a punch to the gut. She had always been dedicated to her job, had worked tirelessly to climb the ranks. To hear this from someone she respected was heartbreaking. But as the shock wore off, something inside her shifted. She wasn't going to let them fire her without explaining herself. "Before you make any final decisions, there's something I need to tell you," Sarah said, her voice steadier now. Mr. Harrison raised an eyebrow. "What's this about?" She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. "This," she said, handing it to him, "is something I've been keeping to myself. It's not something I've shared with anyone here." He looked at her curiously, then opened the envelope. Inside was a legal document, a settlement agreement. Sarah watched as Mr. Harrison scanned the paper, his expression shifting from confusion to disbelief. "I've been dealing with something personal," Sarah continued, her voice now calm but firm. "For the past few months, I've been managing a legal settlement, something that's completely changed my life. It's not something I wanted to bring into work, but it's become clear that I can't keep hiding it. The truth is, I've been late because I've been balancing this situation. And now, I'm ready to choose." Mr. Harrison was silent for a moment, staring at the document. "You've been handling a legal case, and you didn't tell anyone?" Sarah nodded. "I didn't think it was anyone's business. But now it's clear that my personal life is affecting my work, and I needed to be honest with you." The silence between them stretched, thick with the weight of Sarah's words. She wasn't sure how he would respond, but she knew that this moment was inevitable. She couldn't keep pretending that everything was normal. After what felt like an eternity, Mr. Harrison spoke. "I didn't know, Sarah. I had no idea you were dealing with something like this." He looked at the document again. "This is substantial." "I've been working on this for months," Sarah replied, her voice growing stronger. "And it's changed everything for me. But I've been trying to give my best to the company, even if it meant I couldn't always be on time. That's why I'm telling you now. I'm not asking for sympathy, but I wanted you to understand why this has been happening." Mr. Harrison sat back in his chair, clearly processing what Sarah had shared. "So, what happens now?" he asked, finally looking up at her. Sarah took a deep breath. "I'm not leaving. Not yet. I'll finish the projects I've started. I'll complete the work I'm responsible for. But I can't keep pretending that everything is fine when it's not. I need you to respect that." Mr. Harrison paused, then nodded. "I respect that. And I'll make sure the team knows what's going on. No one will hold this against you." Sarah's heart lightened at his words. The truth was out, and for the first time in weeks, she felt a sense of relief. She wasn't just a late employee, she was a person who had been managing a heavy burden. She had chosen to share her story, and it had changed everything. As Sarah walked back to her desk, she felt a weight lift off her shoulders. The road ahead was uncertain, but she knew that from now on, she wouldn't hide who she was. She had nothing to prove, no shame to carry. She had chosen honesty, and in doing so, she had reclaimed control of her life. The journey ahead would be different, but Sarah was ready. She had faced the truth and had chosen her path forward, whatever it might be. No matter what happened next, she knew she had made the right decision.